speaking of kinks,
welcome to ABC Yoga. I'm Amy, Bill, and of course we may see an occasional cat. So let's come to a seated position this morning. Stacey, you're perfect exactly as you are. As we mute all. And if you have a brick close by, I'd bring a brick or get a book. But we'll sit down first, get grounded, rooting those sits bones. A nice, beautiful, tall spine. Spread your fingers wide on the top of your thighs, closing your eyes. As we take these first initial moments to energetically come into our space, as we settle onto our mats, allowing ourselves to energetically come into our bodies and to connect with our breaths. Just feeling the breath in the body, the gentle rise and fall of the chest with our inhalation and exhalation. Unhinge your jaw, lick your lips, swallow a few times. Let's join our hands together in prayer, bowing our forehead to the tips of our fingers as we set an intention, or we dedicate our practice out to someone that may need just a little more love this morning. Beautiful. As we flutter our eyelids open, we'll start with some gentle head rolls. So chin towards your chest, our right ear towards our right shoulder. Open up the throat, left ear, left shoulder, and just continue that head roll 3 or 4 times in one direction. Just moving slowly this morning. As we wake up our body, begin to move that energy. Let's finish that one last head roll in this direction. And we'll go in the opposite direction. So chin towards our chest, left ear, left shoulder, and just continue that circle around. Soften those shoulders. We isolate that movement just to our neck and shoulders and head. Beautiful. We'll take one more head roll in this direction and lift up your head. And we're going to come on to our hands and knees. Keep a brick close by, and we're settled into our gate pose. So the right knee is bent. Extend the left leg, outer edge of the foot to the floor. You can take your right hand on top of the brick and just extend that left hand up towards the sky. So we're opening up the side body here. And after a few breaths, you'll take that left arm up and over. Feel that stretch. Maybe shake out that head a little bit. 2 more breaths. One more inhale here. And you'll come back into that starting position. This time you'll take your left hand behind your head, bend that elbow. You'll bring that right hand towards the floor. So the elbow is up towards the sky. You're opening up your chest. So feel that expansion across the front of the body. And then that elbow up towards the sky. You'll put some pressure into that right hand as you elevate that left leg. You'll flex the foot. And now extending that left hand towards the top of the mat. So feeling that gorgeous stretch, using those inner groins. 2 more breaths here. Last inhale. On an exhale, gently lower that left leg to the floor. You can take that bend of the elbow, use your core to come back to center. Nice, you'll bring that left knee in, switch your brick or block to the other side, extend the right leg, feel the outer of the edge of the foot connect with the floor, and you'll just start with bringing that left hand up towards the sky. Soften the ribs. You can gaze up towards that upper hand, and you'll bring that right hand up and over. So feeling that gentle stretch. 2 more breaths here. Last inhale. Let it go. You'll come back to that starting position again, and you'll bring that right hand up, bend the elbow, and you'll lower that left hand to the brick. Now open up the chest. You can gaze up towards the sky, opening up that side body. A little more pressure into the left hand. Use your inner groin and that inner thigh to lift the right leg, flex the foot. Then you can extend that right arm up and over. 2 more breaths. Gorgeous, 1 more inhale here. Lower that right leg. Use your core, come all the way up, and you can move the brick to the side. And we'll find some cat-cows here. So hands underneath your shoulders, spread those fingers wide. Let's just wag our tail. And we'll bring our chin towards our chest. On an inhalation, your chest reaches forward. Open up those collarbones, eyes high. Chin back towards our chest. So moving at your own breath count. 2 more, we breathe in. Exhale. Last breath in. Exhale, chin towards our chest. And we'll thread the needle so that right hand in the center of the mat. Expand that right hand high. Scoop it under, take that right ear to the floor. Close your eyes. You can walk that left hand to the top of the mat. And an option here to extend that left leg. You can reach through that left heel. Soften your face, connecting with that breath in and out through the nose. Please take 1 more breath in. Exhale. If you extended the leg, bring the knee back in. We'll unravel and lower that hand down. Other side. So the left hand reaches high. Let's thread the needle. Left ear to the mat. So moving slowly, take the right hand to the top of the mat. Allow the body to soften. Maybe extend that right leg out to the side, reach through the heel. 2 more breaths. That final full inhale. If you extended that leg, draw the knee back in. We unwind and lower the hand down. So hands again directly underneath your shoulders. And we'll find our way into beast pose. So tuck your toes under. On an inhale, just hover those knees and walk those feet in a little closer. So engaging that core. Navel in and up towards our spine. Hover here. For 3, for 2, on 1. We're going to lift through those sits bones. Walk your hands forward. Walk the feet back. First downward dog of the morning. We pedal out the feet right and left. Shake out that head. And find that stillness in your downward dog. A full breath in. Nice long exhalation. On an inhale, let's lift those heels. Spin the toes to the left. We drop our knees, drop the hip down. Inhale, lift up. Spin the toes in the opposite direction. And lower those hips down. Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Okay. Inhale, we lift up. Spin the toes to the left. Drop those hips down. And one more time to the other side. Spin the toes to the right. Drop the hips. Use that arm strength. We find our way back into our downward dog. Shake out that head. Keep your hands where they are. Let's walk our feet forward. Take those big toes towards one another so you have a very limited gap between your feet. Bend those knees. Let that crown of the head reach towards the floor. Finding that balance using the finger pads. And we'll walk our hands behind. You can reach for your heels. Hug those elbows in. And over the next few breaths, begin to open up the backs of the legs. Soften those shoulders. Take one more breath here. Let that go. We'll take our hands in front. We'll find that halfway lift and find Uttanasana. Crown of the head towards the floor. 3 more like that. We find that halfway lift, lengthen through the spine, open up the collarbones, soften the knees on the exhale as you surrender, let go. Last 2, we lift. Exhale. Last one here, we breathe in, find that length through the spine, fire those hamstrings, soften, exhale, let go. On an inhale, slowly rise. Extend the arms up overhead. Let's take that slight back bend. And forward fold back into our Uttanasana. We find that halfway lift. Extend the right leg behind you so you find that supported high lunge. Good morning, Hana. Into our easy twist. So the left hand reaches up towards the sky. And maybe let that left hand fall behind as we extend, opening up that chest again. We'll lower that left hand down. We'll step the right foot to the left. We find that halfway lift again. Uttanasana. Back to that halfway lift. Now we reach the left leg behind into that supported high lunge. Drop the hips into our easy twist. Spread the fingers wide. Maybe drop that right hand. We'll lower the right hand down. Now we'll step the right leg back into our high plank. Feet are hips distance apart. Draw your chest a little closer to the top of the mat. Engage all of those muscles. For 3, for 2, on 1, into our downward dog. Eyes towards the back of the mat. The right leg's gonna lift. Let's open that right knee to the sky. Stack your hips. Extend that right leg. We're gonna take that right leg, that right knee to the left elbow as we crisscross the body and extend back up towards the sky. 2 more times like that. Right knee to left elbow. We lift. Last one. Right knee to left elbow. We're going to extend up towards the sky and step it forward into our crescent lunge. Come all the way up. Spread the fingers wide. Drawing those arms in line with your ears. Let's cactus those hands now out to the side. Now we're going to squeeze those elbows in as we hover that left knee. And we lengthen. 4 more like that. We squeeze and extend. Last 3. We open. Last 2. 1 more on this side. So that left knee just hovers. We find our way back into our crescent lunge. Release the hands to the floor. Step back into that high plank. Hold it for a beat. Extra push-ups. high to low, cobra or upward dog. We'll meet in downward dog. Eyes towards the back of the mat. So the left leg is going to lift, bend the knees, stack the hips. So we hollow out those armpits, lift that left knee a little higher. Please extend the left leg. We'll take that left knee to the right elbow. So we twist across the body and extend that leg up towards the sky. 2 more on this side. Move with your breath. Inhale, left knee towards right elbow. We lift. Last one. Crisscross. Extend into our crescent lunge. So that giant step forward, use the core to come all the way up. We'll cactus those hands out to the side. Draw those floating ribs back in. Now we hover to that right knee, look straight ahead, not down, and we just lengthen through that right leg. So we squeeze, hover, and open. Last 3. Move with your breath on 2. Last one here, we squeeze and hover. We open, extend the arms up through crescent lunge into our vinyasa. That left leg back, high to low plank, cobra or upward dog, downward dog. Eyes towards the back of the mat. Shake out that head. Activate those heels to the ground. Finding that length through the spine. 1 more breath in. Let's let that go. Look forward, bend the knees. Walk, maybe fly to the top. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Unwind the spine. Take your time. Palms lift up towards the sky. We take that slight back bend and forward fold. Ride that breath all the way down. Beautiful. We find that halfway lift. Step or jump those feet back, high to low. Cobra or upward dog, downward dog. Eyes towards the back of the mat. That right leg's gonna lift. We'll step it forward into our crescent lunge. Come all the way up. As we gather our prayer to our heart center, let's lift and twist to the right. Elbows stacked in one line. Reach through that left heel. Let's expand through the arms, right hand high, left fingers brush the floor. And we'll bring the palms back together. Use your core, come back to that crescent lunge. And we'll find our vinyasa. High to low. Cobra or up dog, downward dog. Other side, that left leg lifts. Bend the knees, stack the hips. Extend, find your way into your crescent lunge. So we ride that breath all the way up. Prayer to our heart center as we lift and twist. Stacking those elbows. Reach through that right heel. Maybe sit a little deeper. Then we can expand. Palms come back to center. Find your way back into that crescent lunge. And your version of your vinyasa. High to low. Will's coming out of the bedroom. Cobra or upward dog. Downward dog, eyes towards the back of the mat. Finding that connection with your breath. Take another inhalation here. Finish that exhalation. Gaze forward, bend the knees. Step or hop to the top of the mat. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Let's settle into our chair. So we drop those hips. Extend lines of energy out through the fingertips. Tail tucks under. Let's bring our prayer to our heart. So we'll lift and twist to the right. Squeezing energetically those knees towards one another. Expanding, right hand high, left fingers to the floor. Bring your prayer back towards your heart center. We'll find our way back into our chair. So reset here, look down, draw those knees away from the toes, tail tucks under, prayer to our heart center. We lift and twist in the opposite direction. So navel in and up towards your spine. You can expand. Bill's working on a balance, taking that right leg off the floor, nice. Prayer back to heart center. Find your way back into your chair. And we'll find our vinyasa, hands to heart center as we fold. Halfway lift. Step or jump those feet back, high to low plank. Cobra or up dog. We'll meet in downward dog. Eyes towards the back of the mat. Slowing down that breath. Lengthening through those sits bones. Please take another inhale here. Let that go. Keep your hands where they are. Walk your big toes towards that center line. We'll lift that right leg high again. Step it forward into your crescent lunge. Ride that breath all the way up. We'll bring our prayer to our heart, looking straight ahead, finding our way into Virabhadrasana 3. So pushing off that back leg. Find that balance. Let's expand our hands. So taking flight here. Level off those hips. We'll take our hands back to our heart center. We're going to bend that left knee, reach it up towards our chest. Find that balance and just unhinge.
You almost lost your balance right there.
You'll bend your knee, Virabhadrasana 3 again. It's not about a perfect pose. It's about playing your edge. Hands come back to your heart center. We're going to bend that left knee again. Unhinge. And one more time on this side. We find our way back into Virabhadrasana 3. Level off those hips. Hands to your heart center. Lift that left knee. Now we'll take it outside the edge of our mat. We'll curtsy and find our way last time into Virabhadrasana 3. Step that left leg back through that crescent lunge. Nice. Your vinyasa. Right leg back, high to low, cobra or upward dog, downward dog. Eyes towards the back of the mat. Other side. The left leg lifts. Step it forward into crescent lunge. So we come all the way up. So drop into those hips, left knee over left ankle. We bring our hands to our heart center. We'll push off that back leg into Virabhadrasana, Warrior 3. So you can take a couple hops. Find that balance. Then expand the hands. Look straight ahead, don't look down. With control, we bring our hands back towards our heart. We'll engage our core by lifting that right knee up. And you can extend as we take a bend again in that knee, finding our way back into Virabhadrasana 3. On the next inhale, that right knee bends back up towards your chest. We'll unhinge, bend the knee. Again, Virabhadrasana 3. Softening through those left toes. Last time, let's lift that right knee up towards the sky. We're going to take that right foot outside the edge. We're going to curtsy and push back into Virabhadrasana 3. So extend that right leg. And we'll take a giant step back into that crescent lunge. Nice. Vinyasa. Left leg back, high to low plank, cobra or upward dog. We'll meet in downward dog. Eyes towards the back of the mat. So pedal out those feet. Let's shake out our head. Extend that right leg up towards the sky. We'll find our way into warrior two. Up and over. Tracking that right knee over the right ankle. As we take that right forearm on the thigh, left arm up and over. So we were here in a modified version of this at the beginning of class. And maybe allow that right hand to come to the inner ankle. You could use that brick. 2 more breaths. Last inhale. Complete the exhalation. We'll find our way back into warrior two. Now straighten that right leg. We'll find our way into our triangle. So we lengthen, extend, soften that right knee. Let's start with the left hand up towards the sky. So your drishti, your eye gaze is towards that upper thumb, or just gaze towards the right toes. Allowing those ribs to soften. We'll take that left hand on our left hip, working our way into our half moon. So we soften that right knee. Right hand comes to the brick or to the floor. As you elevate that left leg up towards the sky, flex the toes, find your balance, and extend that left hand up towards the sky. You can bend that top knee, reach the left hand for the left ankle. Beautiful, and gently release back into that half moon posture. With control, we'll lower back down into warrior two. And let's just straighten that right leg. We'll spin the left toes out and finding our warrior two on the other side. So dropping into that posture, opening up those collarbones. Let's sit a little deeper. Hug those arm muscles to the bones. Now the left forearm on the thigh, right arm up and over. I don't know what's going on with my husband back there.
Just making noises.
And now we'll hover that left hand in the inner left ankle, expanding. Use that brick. One more breath here. Engaging that core, we come back into our warrior two. Now lengthen through that left leg, finding our way into triangle. So those lower ribs reach. Allow that left hand to come towards the shin, the floor, the brick, right hand up towards the sky. So just shift your gaze towards the left toes. Let that neck relax. If it feels good, maybe find that drishti gaze towards the upper right thumb. Feel that expansion across the chest. Slight bend in that left knee. Now right hand on the right waist, hip. Slight bend in that left knee as we find our way into half moon. So that right leg elevates, flex the toes. You can take that right hand up towards the sky. Maybe explore bending that right knee, reach for the right ankle. For 3, 2, on 1, finding your way back into that half moon. You'll take a giant step back into our warrior two. Straighten that left leg, spin the left toes in. Let's take our hands on our hips. Right toes are pigeon-toed in slightly, and we'll just open up our chest here. Coming back to center, we'll hinge from our hip creases. Take your hands to the floor, spin those left toes out, and we'll find Skandasana. So we'll come to each side twice, so maybe using your hands here, give yourself a little leverage. Right toes flex up towards the sky. So we settle in. We'll take a bend in that right knee. Right toes on a 45-degree angle. Just soften those inner groins as we lift our heart. We'll come to the other side again. Left knee bends. Maybe find that balance. I was going to start class with a quote from Henry James that says, 3 things in human life are important. The first is to be kind. The second is to be kind. And the third is to be kind. So let's go to the other side.
Can you be kind or?
Finding Skandasana on the other side. Yes, you can be kind of kind. Lift the heart. Flex the left toes. We'll release the hands to the floor, finding that straddle position one more time. Hands to your waist. Inhale, come all the way up. Let's heel toe those feet together. Samastitihi, hands at our heart center. Pause and breathe. Lick your lips. Take another breath in here. Let's flutter those eyelids open as we find our way into our chair. We expand and finding our eagle. Right elbow underneath our left, wrap the arms. Take that right thigh up, over. Double wrap for some of you. We draw those knees back to the center as we sit tall. So energetically squeeze those thighs together, sit a little deeper. Draw your shoulders to the back of your space. So you have that flat back. Using your peripheral vision, reach those forearms towards the front of your space. Feel that stretch in the back of your shoulders. One more breath here. On an exhale, let's unwind. Big breath in. We'll start at our hands at our heart center and find our way back into that chair. An eagle on the other side. So that left elbow wraps underneath the right. Weight into that right foot, lift the left thigh. Use that core up, over. Spin the knees towards that center. As we sit tall, soften those shoulders. Can you spread the toes out on your right foot? Create a bigger foundation. Tail tucks under. Maybe press those forearms towards the front of your space. One more inhale here. We complete that exhalation. Let's unwind. Big breath in. And we'll find eagle on the right side. So in one movement, right elbow under, right thigh up and over. So we settle in, look straight ahead, squeeze those thighs together, and we'll unwrap that top leg into our Virabhadrasana 3. We've explored it several times today. So reach your heart forward, level off those hips, maybe expand. You can take that wrap back with your arms. We're going to bend that right knee and expand. Flex the foot. Nice. Lift that right knee back to your chest, and we can just lower that leg down. Shake it out. And in one movement, we'll expand and find the eagle on the other side. So left elbow under, left thigh up and over. So wrapping, we sit tall. Option always to stay right here or unwrap that leg, finding Virabhadrasana 3. So taking your time, maybe expand through the arms. Lift that left leg higher than you think you can. I'm going to take that wrap one more time with my arms. On an inhale, bend that left knee. unhinge. And you'll bend that knee, lower it down, unwrap into Samastitihi. Pause and breathe. We'll flutter those eyelids open, finding our way into our figure 4. Good morning, Ringo. So right ankle on our left thigh, hands come to our heart as we melt through our hips. Open up those elbows, soften the shoulders. You're flexing that right foot. If you're hinging forward, just let that head be loose. Breathing into those tight hips. Let's take 2 more breaths here. One more inhale. Let that go. Press into that left foot. We'll lengthen through the spine. Right leg releases. Let's just shake out that extra energy. And we'll come to the other side. So figure 4, left ankle on top of the right thigh. Flex the foot. Stay here. Or we begin to take a slight bend in that right knee. Hover those elbows. Hinge forward, hands to the ground. Couple more breaths here. Press that right foot into the earth. We lift. Release the left foot to the ground. Let's shake out that energy. And we'll meet at the top of the mat. Taking a vinyasa, a full breath in. Melt forward, Uttanasana. We find that halfway lift. Step or jump your feet back. High to low. Cobra or upward dog. We'll meet in downward dog. Eyes towards the back of the mat. So you're gonna lift the right leg high. Something a little different this morning. Right foot outside the right hand into our lizard. And then we'll step back into downward dog. So the left leg's gonna lift. We'll step it outside, lizard on the other side, back into downward dog. So one more time, right leg lifts. Giant step to lizard, back into our downward dog. Left leg lifts. Lengthen into lizard, back into downward dog. So that right leg's gonna lift. This time we'll stay in lizard. Keep that left leg extended. Reach to the heel. Look straight ahead. Feel that stretch across the hip flexor. Now that left knee comes to the earth. We'll open that knife's edge on the right side. You can take that left hand a little further to the top of your mat and use some light pressure in the inner right thigh. Option to stay here or to bend that left knee. Take that right hand and we'll press our toes towards the back of our mat. So you feel that stretch in the chest, that left hip flexor. One more breath here. If you bent through that left, took a bend in that left knee, release the leg. You'll take both hands in front of you and just turn the toes towards the top of the mat. So we'll melt back into that runner stretch. Open up the collarbones. Draw the hips back as we flex the right toes. So keep those hips in line with the left knee. Let's lengthen the chin over that chin. Soften those shoulders. Unhinge that jaw. As we take another bend through that right knee, lift your heart. We'll draw those hips back one more time. Flex the toes. Firing those hamstrings with this forward fold. One more runner stretch here. An option to extend that right leg forward into our Hanumanasana. So
That's not an option, but
scissor action in the hips. Gaze straight ahead. Drawing those floating ribs back in the body. Take one more breath here. Let that go. Tuck those left toes under. We'll lift that right leg up towards the sky. And we'll just shake it out. Downward dog. Pedal out your feet between sides. Let that head be nice and loose. On the inhale, the left leg lifts. We take that giant lizard step with the left leg. Keep the right leg lengthening here. Melt into those hips. Then the right knee comes to the earth, untuck the toes. You can take the right hand towards the upper part of your mat and maybe use some light pressure in the inner left knee. Soften those shoulders. We stay here, bend that right knee, or add the left hand, and press the toes away so you feel that stretch across the chest. Swallow. And coming back to center, you'll take those left toes facing towards the top of the mat. There's butter. And bend the knee, left knee into our runner stretch. Lift the heart. Slowing down that breath, in and out through the nose. Let's draw the hips back. Flex the left toes. As we lengthen our chin over that left shin. Taking a deep bend in that left knee again, lift the heart. We'll draw the left hips back, toes flex. Last time we find that deep bend in the left knee, you stay here, or finding your way into your version of Hanumanasana. Taking your time. 2 more breaths. Final full inhale. Let that go. Right toes tuck under. That left leg lifts. And shake it out into our downward dog. Optional vinyasa. So high plank to low. Cobra or upward dog. We'll meet in downward dog. Find your way into high plank, and we'll lower our chest all the way down. 5, 4, 3, 2, on 1. Untuck your toes, forehead to the floor. Let's take our hands out in front of us. So find the finger pads here, hollowing out those armpits. And we'll take our hands behind, interlace the fingers. First one, Shalabhasana, we just take our chest off the floor. We lengthen through the neck. Imagine those fingers reaching towards your heels. Breathing in and out through the nose. Building our back strength here. Let's slowly lower down. Take your left ear to the floor. And coming back for our second Shalabhasana. So we interlace our fingers behind the back body. You can shift your fingers so you have that different grip. On an inhale, we lift our heart. Again, your feet are rooted, your hip bones are connected to the mat. You're opening up that chest. Soften. And slowly ride that breath down. This time, right ear to the floor. Release that grip. Swallow. So taking those arms out in front, we find those finger pads. Coming into our full Shalabhasana, our superhuman person. On an inhale, we lift everything off the mat. Gaze straight ahead. Use that breath, we find a little more height. A little more height. We're breathing, one more lift. Lower, left ear down. Pause and breathe. So let's put this all together for 2 floor bows. So we'll bend our knees, reach your arms around for your ankles. We squeeze all the air out. On an inhalation, our chest and thighs lift, toes up towards the sky, find that beautiful bow, look straight ahead. We're breathing, melting that chest. Release, take that right ear to the floor. You can keep those knees bent. We'll windshield wiper our feet between sides. And we have 1 more floor bow here. So come back to center, walk those knees towards one another. You can always use a strap around your ankles. Let everything go. And on that next inhalation, thighs and chest lift. Toes point up towards the sky. Finding that full expression, maybe taking your eyes up towards the ceiling. That beautiful bow for 3, 2, on 1, release, windshield wiper, those feet side to side. And we'll just roll onto our back bodies. Hug those knees into your chest. Finding the finger pads, your wrists, maybe your elbows, squeeze those knees into your chest. Relax your face, slow down your breath. Clean your teeth with your tongue. And you'll release the left leg to the floor. Keep that right knee bent. Find some ankle twists. Please change direction. We'll take a twist with that right knee across the left side of the body. Maybe take your gaze over that right shoulder. And you'll come back to center. Unhinge that right knee. Toes up towards the sky. You can flex the right foot, reaching for the heel of the ankle. Again, a great time to use a strap. So we're just drawing that leg towards the front body. Now using your core, your chin towards that shin. And we'll just lower it down. Head and shoulders to the floor, shake out both legs. Other side, the left knee bends. Squeeze that knee in. Ankle twists in one direction. We change direction. Draw the knee across the body, extend the left arm. Gentle twist. Nice, we'll come back to center. And just unhinge that left leg. Toes up towards the sky. Then we begin to draw the leg towards the chest. So you find that resistance. Send the breath to the back of the hamstrings. Protecting the knee by taking a slight bend. And engaging your core. Lift your head and shoulders off the mat. Toes reaching up and overhead. We'll release the head and shoulders to the floor. Lower the leg down. We'll shake it out. So bending both knees, setting up for our bridge. So the sides of the feet parallel to the mat. We turn the palms up towards the sky. Rooting through the 4 corners of our feet, lifting from our hip points, finding our way into our bridge. Walk the shoulders underneath. Stay supported here, interlace the hands. Whatever version is working well for you this morning. So breathing into this bow shape, which we explored on the ground. Can you lift those hip points a little higher? Relax your face. And just elevating those heels off the mat, opening up the arches of the feet. Keep the hip points where they are. Now lower your heels to the mat. And we'll slowly unwind. Release the hands. Squeeze the air out of the body. We'll let those knees kiss. Walk your feet out to the sides of the mat. Hands on your belly. Just 3 things we need to learn: to be kind, to be kind, and to be kind.
And be kind to kind.
We'll open up our knees. So finding another bridge, or maybe exploring full wheel today. So I'm going to go into full wheel. Otherwise, repeat any version of bridge that you'd like to take. Fingers are underneath your shoulders. We'll come first onto the crown of our head, rooting our hands and feet equally into the mat as we straighten through our arms, melting that chest. You can walk your feet a little closer, pressing that chest towards the top of your mat. Head is loose, breath is steady. 2 more breaths. Last inhale. On an exhale, chin in, unwind the spine. And we'll open up our knees, soles of our feet together into Supta Baddha Konasana. Let's take both hands at our heart center. Slowing down that breath. Face is soft. Taking your hands alongside your knees, let's hug those knees together. And you'll just open up your palms, and again, we'll windshield wiper the feet side to side. Take your time. One more on each side. And we'll hug those knees back into our chest. So extending your legs up towards the sky, you'll take your hands below your hips, and we're just going to lower our right leg down, hover the heel above the mat. Inhale, lift the right leg up, and then just lower that left leg down. Taking your time. Just 4 more. Last 3, 2, and 1. Hug those knees back into your chest as we rock and roll backwards and forwards. Into our extended legs, finding our way into our Paschimottanasana. A big breath in. As we melt forward, surrendering, breathing into the back of our body, softening those shoulders, flexing the feet. On an inhale, we lift our heart. Let's take a bend in that right knee, left arm up. And we'll take that elbow outside the knee as we twist over that right shoulder. Inhale, and we twist. Big breath in, lengthen, twist over that right shoulder. 1 more inhale. Let's twist. Counter twist in the opposite direction. We'll open up that right knee and just expand. Beautiful, lowering those hips down, extend that right leg. We'll shake it out. We'll take a bend in that left knee. Right foot flexes, finding those sits bones. Right hand up and elbow outside the knee as we twist. Inhale through the nose as we twist over that left shoulder. Breathe in and we twist. 1 more inhale. Let's twist. come back, counter twist in the other direction. Open up that left knee, and we'll find that full body stretch. Right hand up and over. Lower the hips down, extend that left leg. One more Paschimottanasana. A big breath in, and forward fold. And coming back to center. Option here, before we come into our Shavasana, finding that brick on the lowest level, coming onto our backs. So taking a supported inversion, so the brick is on the lower sacrum, and we'll just lift the legs up. Palms up towards the sky. Just pausing here. Eight to 10 breaths. Three more breaths. You can stay here or bend both knees, feet on the floor. Gently lift and remove the brick as you settle into Shavasana. Letting go of any breath control, allow the body to relax. Finding that next incoming breath. Gently let that go. Wiggle the toes, dance the fingers awake as we extend the arms up overhead. And finding your way to either side of the body, eyes soft or closed. And rolling up toward a comfortable seated position. And that quote from Henry James, three things in human life are important. The first is to be kind, the second is to be kind, and the third is to be kind. Inviting your prayer to your heart center, bowing your forehead to the tips of your fingers. The light within me honors and recognizes the light within all of you. Thank you for sharing your practice this morning. Be kind, and namaste.
Be kind, kind.
Thank you, ladies. So nice to see you. Summer's flying by.